What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Cha-Ching! An End to Sorrow by Michael R. Fletcher. Guys, this is book number 3 in the Obsidian Path series, okay? So that brings an end to the first trilogy, but the story will continue later on, okay? Just so everyone knows. But that being said, the first trilogy is now done. So for you guys and gals out there that love to binge read shit, the first trilogy is available. You can get after it. Anyway, for those of you that haven't read book 1 or 2 and are trying to click away, please don't, okay? I'm going to keep this thing really spoiler-free. Michael R. Fletcher has done something here in An End to Sorrow that makes it damn near impossible to talk about without tripping over spoilers. It's just, especially how he leaves us in book 2. It's goddamn hard. He's really making it difficult on me as a reviewer to try to really talk about it, okay? And this is funny because it's like my first review back. I'm choosing one of the probably hardest books to fucking talk about. But I do think it's goddamn worth your fucking time, so let's get into it. So the one thing I can comfortably talk about is that here in An End to Sorrow, we will be picking back up with our main character, Crane. Now, we will follow Crane as he continues to try to find pieces of his missing heart. For those that haven't read the other books, Crane is out on basically a quest, trying to find his broken heart that's been shattered. It's made of obsidian, and he's finding these pieces one by one. And each piece brings with it a set of memories, where he's slowly beginning to remember the man he was. The thing being, he doesn't like that guy. So he's now trying to do everything in his power to become a different man. Okay? Now, the things here in An End to Sorrow, I have to admit, right out the gate, I'm going to start with a little bit of criticism. This is my... for people that do plan on binging these books, I think the beginning might be it's not written rough. I just think that you might get a little bored in a way because Fletcher he decided not to do, a story so far thing in the beginning. Instead, he chooses to just kind of integrate things that kind of fill in the reader. Now, this is perfect for us who read the books as they dropped, right? Because there's that gap in between books, a year or whatever. So the way that Fletcher does it, it just kind of organically kind of fills you in on the stuff that you already know and just kind of resharpens that mind of yours. But if you're a binge reader and you've gone from book 1 to 2 to 3, you're kind of going to regurgitate on a little bit of stuff there, okay? So it's because of the style of reading you're doing. You're binging something, so it's not set up necessarily to binge. This was way more a better, read one book at a time as they dropped. And this is why I'm always telling you motherfuckers, you need to read this shit as they drop. It's a lot of goddamn fun. Anyway, the other criticism I think I might have for the book is that at times it seemed predictable, but I have to also say, though, he does this thing where there's a bunch of shit that's so unpredictable. So I kind of wonder, did he do it on purpose? He might be doing that thing where he's like, hey, yeah, look over here while I'm doing some shit over here. Okay, so just beware. When you're reading this, you'll be like, man, I'm figuring all this shit out. Guess what? You're going to be wowed here and there because you think you know, but you don't know. One of the big shining things about this series, and it really ramped up in book 2 and carries into book 3 here, is Fletcher's character work. He is just really firing on all cylinders. You know, these characters that he's creating, they're a lot of goddamn fun to be with. Even if they're dastardly pieces of shit, he has fleshed them out. It's just like how Abercrombie does it. It doesn't matter if they're a horrible person. You still want to follow them. And Michael R. Fletcher has really done that with his entire cast and crew. Every person I've kind of come in contact in this series, I just enjoyed. I wasn't like, oh, let's get back to this or whatever. No, I just really dug it. And the way he's working within these relationships is really some amazing stuff, guys, because he's playing with shit that really goes to show broken people and how their version of love, their version of friendship, all this shit, it's impressive. The way that he has fleshed this out, thought it out. There's consequences to these guys' actions. As much as it might seem like they're always kind of getting away, you know what I mean? And they're not in harm's way or some shit. I have to say, in their relationships, their love lives, their friendships, this is really where Fletcher goes to work, and there's a lot of battling within this stuff. And it's very realistic, or it's very organic at times. It's just so fucking well done. And you, like I said earlier, about consequences. We really dive into this whole deal about what happens when somebody, maybe with a skewed view on things, just follows their tunnel vision, and how that affects the people around them, and how they might begin to fucking put the blinders on and make some horrible decisions right along with you because they're your fucking friend, goddammit. It's really fucking good. The next thing I want to talk about really in this book is the action, because Michael R. Fletcher has packed this thing with fucking action. From beginning to end, it is like epic-sized shit going down, and it's kind of crazy, man. Like, the funny thing is, I saw in the beginning of this, he actually dedicated one of the people was Michael Moorcock, and that makes a lot of sense. We know from our interview that Michael Moorcock was a huge influence on Michael Fletcher, and it shows, guys. The Obsidian Path series really does feel like something like a cousin of Michael Moorcock's work. It just really is that imaginative, as well as just is crammed with so many events in so few pages. Though An Into Sorrow is the largest book in the trilogy, you just look at the series overall, and just the amount of stuff that has happened is insane. It is insane that he has crammed this amount of fucking adventure and just fuckery and whatever into this amount of pages. It is... The only other person I can think that does this is Michael Moorcock, and it's just really cool to see. Next, I want to talk about the book's overall tone, as well as just kind of with the first two, is this is a dark fantasy ride, so expect blood, guts, gore, dark shit. But at the same time, Michael R. Fletcher has injected a lot of humor, a lot of heartfelt moments, and just this other kind of feel. It doesn't necessarily, to me, yes, there's gore and shit, but it never felt like super depressing. Even in the like brutal moments, there's something here where I guess maybe because it is kind of a story about love and friendship, that there is that bit attached to it. So it never, to me, ever felt like some like overboard, like dark and super dark and dastardly deal. I mean, it does get dark and dastardly, but at the same time, you're able to kind of handle it. I wouldn't say that this of Michael R. Fletcher's stuff is the most accessible to the squeamish readers, okay? Not saying that a squeamish reader will love it, but I think of all his stuff, I think you might be able to get on board with this series. Really, I truly do. And kind of keeping with this, trying not to give anything away, I just want to mention there was a part while I was reading this book, okay? And I put it down because I was laughing for fucking 10 minutes, okay? 10 goddamn minutes. I was laughing, tears coming out of my fucking eyes because it was that good. It was that good. And that's what I'm saying is like, there are some impressive parts with humor that really change the whole tone of this thing. And it's not just this book alone, you know? It's a great mix. I don't want to say it's like something like Grimheart, but maybe it is. You know what I mean? I don't really know all this shit either, guys. I'm still figuring it out just like you are. The next thing I want to talk about that Fletcher does amazingly here is just his overall tie-ins and connections to his personal Fletcher verse, okay? Now, if you ask Fletcher if his books and worlds are connected, he'll just whistle, twiddle his thumbs, and ignore you, okay? Because there's a reason. Because he's stated it clear as day in his books. If you read his books, you'll make the connections. And An Into Sorrow has the most massive connections, tie-ins, all crossovers, everything in this one book. Massive, massive amounts. This is like a dividend for Fletcher fans. If you've read his previous books, you will be much like myself, where there was a certain part where a certain character kind of entered the fold. I was jumping out of my seat, punching the fucking air, and screaming, yes! And it was goddamn awesome, dude. I mean, this is maybe one of the best payoffs as a fan in fantasy and like in getting a connection, you know, a tie-in, where you're just like an Easter egg or whatever. You're just, This was massively satisfaction. I was so satisfied in this moment, okay? It was just really goddamn good. Now, I know for some of you are probably watching me just gush about this. I don't think you have to read his other books before you start this one. I'm just saying if you have read his other books, get ready to fucking be just pleased. Whew. So holy hell, I'm telling you, he's really outdone himself in this book specifically. The last thing I want to talk about is just the book's ending. Of course, I'm not giving it away, but I do want to talk about it because I think people need to know this is the end of the first trilogy, but it is going to continue. The story will move on. So just be ready to have your questions answered, but to still be kind of left in wonder. All right? There is more of the story to continue. This is the first part of it, and it is finished, okay? That might be confusing for some. Just know that you can read all 3 books and get this chunk of the story, okay? And then you could wait for the next books to drop, just like me. Now, as far as my 2 cents for the slow and the struggling, yes, goddammit, the books are for you. In fact, I think that this series is a little bit more streamlined for Fletcher and just that much easier to digest for readers. He has a detailed style. He has a good prose. But he has, like I said, he's kind of streamlined his writing a little bit in this series, and I just think that anyone can pick these fucking books up, enjoy them. They can consume them at an easy rate without getting lost under shit tons of exposition or just overly done details, okay? He's going to give you just the right goddamn amount and just keep you going through this wacky, wild, dark, and dastardly adventure. Trust me, guys, the shit is for you if you're looking for something with a dark tone, but then also has, themes of friendship, love, humor. This is definitely something you need to check out. Well, all right, guys, as always, thanks for spending some time down here at the channel. And to Michael R. Fletcher, we salute you. Bah! 2 thumbs up, bro. Goddamn, you're killing it. You're killing it, dude. I can't say that you're not a cheeky bastard because by the end of this thing, I was just going, you cheeky bastard. I can't wait for the next ones. Should be out by tomorrow, huh, Mike? Hurry up, buddy. Just joking. Take your time. You've created something that I've very much appreciated, and I know others do as well. For you guys that spent some time watching this video, gosh bless ya, as we like to say down here at Slowly Read. You are the lifeblood that keeps this black heart pumping, okay? Okay. Till next time, peace.